hundreds of targets across Iran, killing Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei and crippling much of the military command. He warns combat will continue for 4 weeks or less until all objectives are achieved. Hello and welcome. You're watching the market on ET now. I am Snehish and I wish I could say it's a good morning, but it isn't, given the kind of escalation that we're seeing in the immediate West. Iran has retaliated with missiles and drones targeting Israel, US bases in the Gulf and key regional cities. Casualties are mounting. Multiple US troops have been confirmed dead, and fresh strikes are reported near Jerusalem and Tehran. The Gulf Cooperation Council has vowed a unified response. The UK has opened bases to the US. The EU is reinforcing naval patrols in the Red Sea. Meanwhile, the UAE has shut its stock markets. PM Modi has also taken stock as he held a cabinet committee on security as a huge Indian diaspora remains at risk. We have my colleague Sumita standing by with the latest developments geopolitically. Sumita.
Hi there. Since you mentioned the Prime Minister's Cabinet Committee on Security meeting, remember that it happened late last night with key members of his cabinet on the ongoing situations. And in fact, he's also tweeted in response to the kind of situation that we're seeing unfolding in the Middle East. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that he's had a telephone call with PM Benjamin Netanyahu to discuss the current regional situation. He conveyed India's concerns over the recent developments. He also emphasized the safety of civilians as a priority, and India reiterates the need for an early cessation of hostilities. Now, this is very critical, the fact that his response asks for a measured response in response to really what's happening in those geographies. And of course, India has good relations with Iran and Israel both. But it remains to be seen how India is going to be sort of, navigating this diplomatic tightrope, even as it was Israel that actually targeted Iran first. In fact, what we're also given to understand as far as the Indian government and how it's looking at the situation is that there's going to be a meeting today at about 2:30 p.m. with India's Commerce Secretary. And in fact, exporters are going to be meeting India's Commerce Secretary to discuss the kind of impact, the potential impact that they're going to be seeing on exports. Now, it's important to also remember that the Strait of Hormuz, that is, of course, as Iran said, that this is under closure, and that actually paves way for at least 20% of oil related movement from that strait only happens. So, of course, this is going to put a burden on freight. The costs are going to go up, insurance costs are going to go up. So, of course, the exporters are going to be speaking to the Commerce Secretary on that front. What's equally important to also understand in this situation is the fact that Indian exporters are already facing uncertainties related to what's happening in the United States with respect to President Donald Trump's tariff policies. So, of course, this is going to be a major blow, double whammy for exporters unless the government really comes out with a clarity on what they're essentially doing to support exporters and of course, what they're really seeing with respect to what's happening with the United States.